Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished visitors, and honored guests, on behalf of Presiding Officer, Commander of the 48th Medical Group, Colonel Thomas Stamp, welcome to Royal Air Force Lakenheath and the redesignation and change of command of the 48th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron. I am Captain David Soa, your narrator for today's ceremony. We'd like to take this opportunity to recognize some distinguished guests, both in the audience and viewing remotely. Hillary Stamp, spouse of Colonel Thomas Stamp. Sherry Woolley, spouse of Colonel Woolley and their children Sarah and Stacy. Lieutenant Colonel Deborah McFarland, United States Air Force retired, spouse of Lieutenant Colonel McFarland, and their children Annika, Anson, and Finley. Commander, 48th Fighter Wing, Colonel Jason Camilletti. Vice Commander, 48th Fighter Wing, Colonel John Stratton. Command Chief, 48th Fighter Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Mark Shulkoff. RAF Commander, Squadron Leader Jamie Turnbull. Commander, 48th Operations Group, Colonel Sean Lowe. Commander, 48th Maintenance Group, Colonel Stephen Collin. Commander, 48th Mission Support Group, Colonel Christopher Leonard. Chief, 48th Medical Group, Chief Master Sergeant Chuck Wortman. We'd also like to extend a warm welcome to all commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, and the men and women of the Liberty Wing who have taken the time to be with us for this special occasion. The change of command ceremony is a military tradition deeply rooted in history and dates back to the time of Friedrich the Great of Prussia. In that period, military organizations developed flags unique to their organizations, with specialized colors and designs. When soldiers followed their leaders into battle, they kept sight of their particular unit flag as an indicator of the success of the battle. Seeing the importance of the flag, it was incorporated into ancient change of command ceremonies. Although the modern ceremony is principally symbolic, it indicates to all present the authority of the commander who holds the colors. As the unit banner, or guidon, is exchanged, it represents the responsibility associated with the unit being relinquished and accepted. As part of the rapid and systemic transformation of the Air Force Medical Service, the 48th Aerospace Medicine Squadron has been redesignated as the 48th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron. The 48 OMRS will focus on the warfighter by proactively treating active duty airmen and improving their ability to support the mission. Today, Colonel Robert Woolley will relinquish command of the 48th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, and Lieutenant Colonel Sean McFarland will assume command. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and for the playing of the British National Anthem and the American National Anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the presiding officer for today's ceremony, Commander of the 48th Medical Group, Colonel Thomas Stamp.
All right, good afternoon. What a great day that we have here today. First, I'd like to extend some thank you. So Colonel Camilletti, Chief Sholkoff, thanks for tuning in. Colonel Stratton, other group commanders, squadron commanders, members of Liberty Wing. Especially want to recognize Debbie, Annika, Anson-Finley. Thank you for coming out to see your dad take command. And then Sherry, Sarah, and Stacy, thank you for coming out and getting ready to watch your dad turn over one squadron, getting ready to take over another in Alaska. Wanted to spend a couple of minutes this morning. We're going to talk about Sean later this afternoon a bit more, but want to talk about Rob and really highlight some of the things that he has done for AMDS, now OMRS, here at the medical group. And really, it's three things that I wanted to highlight in the accomplishments. We'll hear more about the specifics in his medal, but I wanted to first talk about the Wing's #1 priority, surety, and the PRAP, and the huge part that that plays in things. And for those folks that aren't aware, AMDS shoulders the heaviest burden of all of that, and keeping our CMAs certified, making sure that the program is running smoothly. And Rob has spearheaded that for the last 2 years and really set us up for success moving ahead as our surety mission continues to expand. So, Rob, thank you for all of your huge efforts on that. Second thing I want to highlight is Rob's efforts with the OST, the Operational Support Team. And if you talk to Rob for more than 5 minutes, he can't help bringing that up because it's a huge source of passion for him. And this is an opportunity for us to take some of the medical talent that we have, work around the wing and our tri-wing support that we provide, and look at those hard-to-reach areas and get some of those problem areas worked out. And it's not an embedded program where they stay in that system for a long time, but there are opportunities to look at the factors that go along in particular squadrons and work areas, highlight those areas that those can improve in order to provide some preventative care to those folks. And it's something that Rob's been passionate about. He's actually leading the way in that and helping the AFMS figure out how they're going to shape this program for everybody else. Something else that you're going to have at Elmendorf to be able to work with. So very, very excited about what's going to happen from there. He's heartbroken to have to leave that right now just as it's getting some stride. But he set us up extremely well with a very talented team. And the last thing I want to highlight for Rob's passions has been the Air Force medical reform. And this is something that we've been working through for roughly 18 months here at the 40th Medical Group. And the first time that I brought the topic to Rob, he was all in, and he has been all in for all of that. So we could not get the transformation from AMDS to OMRS fast enough. Absolutely huge. One of his great wishes to be able to graduate as a squadron commander, as an OMRS commander, which demonstrates his commitment to all of that. So again, a few minutes before they leave town, ask Rob about OST or the reform and the transformation to OMRS, and he'll give you an earful on that. But Rob, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your effort on those three things, as well as being a mentor and counsel for me during your time here. Wish you Godspeed and all the luck in the world in Elmendorf. I'm jealous that Lee Williams gets to work with you again. Sean, we'll talk a bit more about you this afternoon. Some folks maybe look at this and wondering what we're doing, taking a pediatrician from a surgical squadron and putting him into an operational medical squadron. And it really boils down to one very, very simple fact, is that Sean is an outstanding leader, and I wanted to keep him on the team. So several months ago, the opportunity came up, and the Colonel's Group asked who we wanted to fill the AMDS slot at that point. And I said, well, we've got an 06 who's ready to pin on. He knows the medical group. He's worked through the reform. How about we just keep Sean in that job and we'll just move him over? And the Colonel's Group agreed to that, and very, very excited to have you continuing on as a team. We know you had to run it by the home team first to make sure, probably twisting arms to keep staying in England for an extra year or more. So we really do appreciate that, Sean, but we're very excited to look forward to you taking on the new role and having an opportunity to get a good handoff from Rob. So excited to see what you're going to be able to do for the OMRS with the newly minted squadron moving ahead on that. Just before I forget, I want to do a quick shout out to Colonel Curtis and Captain Sawa for putting on an outstanding change of command today, so thank you. Not the easiest of times to be able to do that, but thrilled that you could do this for us, and very much appreciate your efforts on that. With that, that's all that I have for the comments, so Rob, again, congratulations. We're going to miss you. Sean, welcome to the OMRS. That's all that I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel Stamp. Please stand for the medal presentation. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, the medal will not be pinned on today, but the citation is being presented. Attention to orders. This is to certify that the Air Force Meritorious Service Medal, 4th Oak Leaf Cluster, has been awarded to Colonel Robert B. Woolley for meritorious service 2 July 2018 to 13 July 2020. Colonel Robert B. Woolley distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 48th Aerospace Medicine Squadron, 48th Medical Group, 48th Fighter Wing, Royal Air Force Lakenheath, England. During this period, Colonel Woolley aligned a pioneering Key Spouse program with a cohesive squadron resilience organization, which increased participation by more than 350%. Additionally, he was selected to serve on Wing and Air Force level committees focused on medical support for the first United States Air Force overseas bed down of the F-35 weapons system platform. Furthermore, Colonel Woolley developed and implemented an innovative approach to comprehensive operational support that was recognized by the 711th Human Performance Wing as a best practice. Moreover, his direction in the formation of the first overseas operational medical readiness squadron provided unprecedented, mission-focused care for more than 7,000 active duty members across 3 bases. Finally, Colonel Woolley led the 48th Fighter Wing Coronavirus Disease Containment Working Group, in which his expertise and direction resulted in an on-base incidence rate more than 66% lower than the community rate. His squadron's impressive efforts significantly contributed to the command's 2018 and 2019 Best Hospital of the Year and the 2019 Air Force Hospital of the Year. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Woolley reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Colonel Woolley will now address his command for the last time.
Well, to begin with, I'd like to thank those who are sharing these proceedings remotely, Colonel Camilletti, Colonel Stratton, Chief Shulkoff, Squadron Leader Turnbull, Colonel Cullen, Colonel Leonard, Colonel Lowe, fellow squadron commanders, and members of the 48th Medical Group. I would be remiss at this time if I did not also take the opportunity to thank those who have been so instrumental in making my time here so memorable. First, I'd like to thank Colonel Lee Williams, who gave me this opportunity, and then apparently was so torn up about only working with me for one day that he has hired me again and is dragging me to Alaska. So, more so though, I would like to thank Colonel Tom Stamp, whose quiet and contemplative nature was able to help me channel my passion. And although you may not think so, I have learned from you, and I have tried to develop that some of those reserved personas and to be more deliberative. I know that it's this part of your nature that has helped us make such a successful team. Now, although he's already departed, I would also like to send along my thanks to Colonel Will Marshall. Much like Colonel Stamp, his thoughtful and open approach always lent itself to mentorship and to mutual benefit. Senior Master Sergeant Miller, thank you for being such an outstanding teammate, counselor, and leader. You have never faltered in your unconditional dedication to our airmen, and you're always willing to give me the much-needed perspective when I was missing a piece of the picture. Thank you also to Colonel Curtis, Captain Soa, and the team who had put this ceremony together under circumstances which we could not have anticipated 2 years ago. Finally, to my family, Sherry, Sarah, and Stacy, at your seats are some small tokens of appreciation for your continued support to me and to the role we as a family play in the defense of our great nation. Adam is currently unavailable to join us, but will be able to view this recording later. Sherry, this has been a spectacular year, and although so many plans were spoiled by COVID, and that we learned that my working at home was harder for you to tolerate than quarantine, you did finally admit, after more than 30 years, that it was you who found me, and I couldn't be any happier. No success in life compares to the love, devotion, and selfless service you have provided in support of my dreams and my convictions. We are now and always will be an unbeatable team, and I could not have hoped for anyone better to share my forever with. This is an auspicious day, one that I've been dreading for some time now. Allergies. Saying goodbye has never been my forte, and I would be happy just to move on, taking with me the memories, lessons, and friendships that have been carefully cultivated over the past 2 years. My family and I look forward to new adventures, and will never forget the extraordinary experience of living and serving at RAF Lakenheath. To the airmen of the 48th Operational Medicine Squadron, or Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, got to change that, don't I want to thank each one of you. The opportunity to lead is a gift. It is not a gift given by a hiring authority or a supervisor. It is a gift given by those who loyally follow, support, counsel, and sustain. Leadership must be earned, and it should never be taken for granted. I am humbled that for the past 2 years, I have been afforded the extraordinary privilege of leading the 48th Aerospace Medicine Squadron and now the 48th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron. You have truly given me a gift, and I hope that I have been worthy of it. Together, we have charted a course on the leading edge of a truly integrated operational medicine model. For a diamond to achieve its greatest potential, it requires vision, skill, effort, and adversity. Today, we are beginning to see some of the brilliance of the finished product as each facet is cut and polished. I have no doubt that what we have started here will go on to be a leading model, not just for the Air Force, but across the Department of Defense, of how operational medicine should be employed. Colonel Select McFarland is exactly the person this mission needs to guide the finishing and setting of this precious gem. Over the past 2 years, I've gotten to know and observe Colonel McFarland, and he has earned both my undying friendship and deepest respect. With his leadership, each of you has and will continue to play a vital role. Now, although I heard General Welsh share this message many times, the sentiment is now mine because I have come to know for myself of its truth. Every airman is as important as any other. The airman processing payments or the airman checking in patients into the clinic is vitally important to our mission. And those responsibilities must be accomplished with dedication and precision. No senior leader can do every job or ensure its execution. We are all entrusted with a scope of responsibility, and our nation is counting on us to perform. Let me close by stating again, 48 OMRS is in good hands, and I couldn't be more proud of who we have become and where we are going. I hope our paths cross and that I can continue to serve you well into the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will now observe the symbolic portion of the ceremony, the change of command. Please stand.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Special Order Number GO 1167. Under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 51604 and Air Force Instruction 38101, Lieutenant Colonel Sean McFarland is appointed Commander, 48th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, effective 13 July 2020. Signed, Colonel Thomas Stamp, Commander, 48th Medical Group.
Sir, I will relinquish command.
Sir, I assume command.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce to you for the first time the commander of the 48th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Sean McFarland.
Thank you. To those distinguished guests who are joining us virtually, Colonel Camilletti, Colonel Stratton, Chief Sholkoff, Squadron Leader Turnbull, group commanders, fellow squadron commanders, superintendents, and first sergeants, thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us today for this special occasion. Colonel Stamp, thank you to you and Colonel Camilletti for your continued trust and opportunity to lead here at the Liberty Wing. I do not take it lightly, and I won't let you down. To our Pro-Joes, Lieutenant Colonel Curtis, Captain Soa, and I know there are many others, thank you so much. An event like this does not go on without a considerable amount of work in the background, and I appreciate it. Debbie, the true officer of the family, anybody who knows us knows that's the case, hence the reason I had him say Lieutenant Colonel Deborah McFarland retired, even though you don't like me to do that. Annika, Anson, Finley, thank you for getting up and getting here this morning, even though it's going to be posted this afternoon. And thanks for all your support over the last 2 years as we move forward in this journey here in England. And to all the families and friends who are joining us virtually, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day. To the Woolies, specifically Sherry, Sarah, Adam, who's joining us probably remotely, and Stacy, thank you for your friendship and your support of OMRS, as well as your support of the McFarlands over the past 2 years. We wish you the best at Joint Base Elmendorf, and you will be missed because we miss you already. To Colonel Woolley, never did I envision 2 years ago that I would be taking the guidon from you. And part of me is still a little bit uncomfortable knowing the period of excellence that you have done over the last 2 years. You have been a mentor, a confidant, and a true friend, and words cannot express my appreciation for having you down the hall. I already miss not having you there to bounce off ideas, to learn from your experience, and to continue the mentorship and friendship we have. But luckily, we have learned through COVID, Microsoft Teams and other opportunities will allow us to kind of keep that relationship going. Thank you for all your support. As you know, Colonel Woolley, the many conversations that we have had, my mission has always been about my airmen. Well, now your airmen are my airmen, and my determination and dedication to them has remained unchanged. I hope to continue the period of excellence that you have started the last 2 years, and simply put, I'm going to try to not screw it up. To the men and women of OMRS, I am very excited to be a part of your organization. I'm very excited to be the heart and the tip of the spear for Liberty Medics, the Air Force Medical Service, and here at the greatest med group and fighter wing in the United States Air Force. I look forward to the opportunities and getting to know all of you, getting to know your mission, and helping to advance the mission that Colonel Woolley has so graciously and effectively done over the last 2 years. So in closing, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the chance to continue to serve the Liberty Wing, and I look forward to the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel McFarland. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. Due to COVID regulations, we ask that you do not sing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Thank you for your attendance. For those who are attending virtually, please comment below the video to wish Colonel Woolley well and welcome Lieutenant Colonel McFarland.